that we don't need any mechanical energy to be able to have the ventilation. So what was really good about this is that cool air came in on the bottom. It became hotter, hotter, hotter. It became lighter, because of the expansion of the molecules, and then it was gone with the windows on the top. So it started this sort of passive ventilation, which was great. Let me tell you that before the invention of the central air conditioner, houses had to be designed for the environment. Okay? They had to be a passive ventilating system. We didn't have air conditioning, central air conditioning in every single room, and we lived. We lived. I remember that we had only air conditioning, because my parents had that business. We had air conditioning in the rooms with window units in the room. The rest of the time, you had fans. I had long hair, and I would get my hair caught in the fan. They had to take me with a fan to the hospital, attached to my head, like this. I know, I paid for it. Trust me, you pay for it. But that's one way of getting, a passive ventilating system without you having to use any energy. Look at our lives. We're here in air conditioning. We run over to the car in air conditioning. We go to the house, has to have air conditioning. If we don't, we die. And if you go someplace where they don't have air conditioning, it takes you about 3 to 4 weeks to get used to it. And then you're fine. But that's what I'm saying. Like the awning window, I'm going to ask you to identify the picture of the awning window. As a matter of fact, I put this one. And I'm going to ask you what the advantage is. The advantage, obviously, is that you can open it 100%. And the disadvantage is that it needs room on the outside. So it's not going to be hard. You're going to get 100 on the place.
Professor, the air conditioning had eliminated the need for architects or contractors to design a house that really could ventilate on its own. So we're dependent, for the most part, unless someone does it differently.
That's why you have these fixed windows everywhere. You have these very high ceilings that need to be, and then you're worried about the bill when it comes in the summer, and it's more than $400 or $500 because of the fact that it's designed like that. In the when I came here from Cuba, I was 8 years old you can do the math, in 1960, and I remember that we lived, it was no air conditioning, only in the rooms, that's it. The rest of the time, you open up the windows and hope that there's a breeze once in a while, because it gets very, very muggy here. But if the house was designed in such a way where you can open the windows, you would get breeze through. And it was, you don't necessarily have to use the air conditioning all the time. This is called a hopper window, and the hopper window is very much like the awning window, only it opens the other way. Look. This is the hopper, the awning, and it opens on the top. This is the hopper, and it opens from the bottom. These are great for clear story windows. Clear story windows are the windows on the very top that people use for ventilation. And they usually open inside of the house. So this one, it opens inside, so you have to have room on the inside to accept that open. It doesn't open outside. And this is called the hopper. It's very similar to the awning. It only opens the other way. It opens inside and is used for clear story windows.
Clear story?
Clear story. Clear story means windows on the very, very high. And then these are, I don't give you this one on the quiz because I hate these windows. Look how ugly these things are. This is really frightening, okay? It's scary.
They wouldn't sell for a while.
Yeah, this is like big time. This, you can have a desk, or you can have a bench or something like that in there. In this case, they have this fixed and these two casement on either side, okay? I don't like them because I believe that windows need to be integrated into the design of the building. And here, this is the window that we buy in Home Depot and put it in. And that's the reason why I don't like it. But it's only my opinion, and you should know that they exist.
So the disadvantage is Professor
No.
Benitez doesn't like.
Yeah. The disadvantage is that it looks like it's glued on like a chewing gum. But, you know, I didn't even ask this one, but I want you to identify that. This is bay or garden window so that you know what they are. The next one is Martha Stewart uses this all the time, but if they were to put this window in South Florida on the south side, your herbs will be dried like that, okay? Because it is, we live in such there's so much heat that this is great, these windows are great for up north, okay? Or if you want them, they have to be placed on the north side where we really don't get direct sunlight, okay? Just because in the north side we don't get direct sunlight, we still have a lot of heat coming in because of the heat that we have here. So these windows are called garden windows because they have shelves where you can put your garden herbs and you can cook with the herbs, which are wonderful. But the problem is that in South Florida, the heat is just way too much. And the glass is such a heat conductor, it's such an excellent heat conductor that you get the sun heating up the glass, and the glass heats up all of the air inside your house. When the sun hits the glass, you can touch it and actually get burnt. This is how hot it gets. So you want to be able to protect the glass every single time, and you cannot do it with a garden window. But I do want you to know that they exist, so that just because I don't like them doesn't mean that you don't have to know what they are.
So the disadvantage is that it gets hot?
The disadvantage is that it gets very hot. It is not recommended for South Florida. And this, I put it in because I thought this, I'm not going to ask you to identify these. But these are called bifold windows because they open like an accordion and they close. And I wanted to show you this because you can make your own windows. You know, you can custom make your own windows. Of course, we live in an area that everything has to be UL approved by, you know, by the city, and by the insurance doesn't cover you if you have certain things which are not, you know, hurricane proof and all of that. But these I thought that was really cool because they designed it in such a way where the whole thing can open, like a bifold.
Like the doors you showed us too.
Like the doors are really nice. So basically, I'm going to ask you to identify these things, and then I'm going to ask you what the advantage or disadvantage of them are. Okay, so do you want to review them? And you tell me what they are? Well, I'm cheating because I have the name there. What's the disadvantage of the fix? Of course. And the advantage is?
Cheap and looks great.
Cheap and looks good. Okay. Like Macy's, you go there and you get everything cheap and it looks really good. Okay. I haven't been able to go there, but they have a big sale coming up. Like every weekend is like the biggest sale in the world. I have to go there, but it's every weekend.
Yeah.
Every week there's a one.
Every single weekend there's a sale. So what's the point? You know? I go there and they tell me, lady, don't buy it now. It's going to be on sale.
Yeah.
Okay, the casement windows, the advantage is that they open.
Opens up 100%.
Yes, disadvantage is that
It needs clearance in the back.
to accept it being open. Okay, how about the double hung window?
It doesn't need room, which is the advantage of that, and it opens only this 50%, which is a disadvantage.
Okay, the disadvantage. And this one I'm not going to ask you. And the sliding window,
Opens 50%.
opens 50%, that's a disadvantage, and the advantage is that
And
you
you
don't
need
need,
no
room on the
you
outside.
do need room. You do not need room, it doesn't take up any room, in other words. And the awning, the same thing, the awning can open 100%, but it needs room on the outside.
On the outside.
I'm not gonna ask you,
It opens from the
I
top.
don't think, yeah, I might ask you about the hopper. It opens up 100% and it needs room on the
On
inside.
the inside.
And they're mostly used for clear storage. I'm not gonna ask you about the bay or window, but I need for you to know what they are. Okay? And I'm not gonna ask you about the bifold window, but I want you to know more or less what it is. Okay? So that's gonna be the windows, and the reason why I'm doing the windows is because when you draw a window in plan, you can't really tell what it is. So we will later on do the other project that we hopefully can start next week, where we are going to be talking about doing a schedule where we specify what kind of window we're gonna have, you know? Okay, so that's gonna be your quiz next time, so you're gonna all get 100 next time.